Oh my goodness, you guys. Hello, my name is Alexa, and I am just thanking you from the bottom of my heart for letting me be a part of something so special as today is in honoring such a special human being. I never had the privilege to know Amanda, but my goodness, the stories I have heard about her and the characteristics that she had and resembled and the things that she stood up for. I so badly wish I could have hugged that gal in person, and today we will celebrate her life and continue to celebrate the person that she is and what she still brings to this world, because she's still bringing so much to each and every one of us, especially all of you. And so my name is Alexa. I'm a speaker, author, purpose and empowerment coach, and a podcaster, and I am here to give you guys an insane amount of love that you might be missing today, and also talk about how we need to own our story and ultimately live the dream. And so part of my story is talking about how life is just a series of moments becoming memories, becoming the most beautifully written stories ever told. In an instant, this minute, this present time quickly changes into a memory as we try and grasp at it like straws. We think to ourselves, if only we could freeze time, to freeze the moment, to stay in it just a while longer, to pick up every detail, every smell, every taste, every smile. And especially on a day like today, I know all of you guys are feeling this so deeply to your core. And so it's the importance of acknowledging moments before they become memories. And so my story, my personal development story, the beginning to the rest of my life started because of the death of my father, an unexpected death that really had me grasping at the air like it was straws and really trying to find my purpose in this pain that I was feeling. And we all know when it rains, it pours, and I just didn't want other people to feel alone in their grief and the heaviness that life sometimes is. And how can we possibly be happy and smile again when we're feeling this pain? And so over time, my mission is to make people feel seen, heard, and loved through owning their story and ultimately living the dream. And so I want you to ask yourself is, how do you feel seen by others? How do you feel most heard by others? And ultimately, how do you feel loved by other people? And in turn, how do you do this? How do you make people feel seen? How do you make them feel heard? And how do you love on these other human beings? And so I want you to ask yourself is, why do you do what you do? But then ultimately, what in your life provoked you to do that thing? And so for me, I'm on this mission to make people feel seen, heard, and loved, to look at all the pieces of their story, and ultimately to know that they're living the dream even on these rock bottom moments. And so what in my life provoked me to do that thing? Well, it was the unexpected death of my father that then transcribed into a lot of other losses and patterns of people leaving, and this idea that life and feelings are temporary. And although that's a terrifying feeling, there's also so much peace in knowing that even the painful moments are temporary as well. And so right now, you guys, we are in this extremely unique situation where every single person is grieving something, someone. Its eras ending, identities being lost, relationships changing, dreams shifting. The now is about all allowing these rock bottom moments, these pivots that we have, the challenges, and connecting all the dots in full circle moments. It's giving yourself grace, but also having a grace period. And so my story starts from grief. And what is grief? Well, it's an experience, mind, body, and soul. It fills our entire being with every emotion possible. It has no rules, it doesn't discriminate, it's not patient, and it's definitely not linear. But I'm here to remind you, especially today, especially as we're here celebrating this beautiful person, that you are not defined by this. You are not defined by grief. The person who got divorced, the gal whose boyfriend cheated on them, the one that lost themselves, the one whose dad died. Because I am just me, and you are just you. You are not defined about the pieces of your story that have really made you who you are, but these pieces of your story that rocked you to your core. And so here's a perspective shift, I hope, is that we forget that every single day we are writing our own epic life story. We write new sentences, new pages, while closing and opening chapters as they happen. And so I want you to think about this. There's this book that you really, really want to read. And even in the middle of a pandemic, you put your mask on, you go into the bookstore, you find the book, you pay for it with your own money. And as soon as you get home, your nose is already in the book. And you're reading and you're reading. And all of a sudden you get to this chapter and it's completely ripped out. Pages are gone. And you're upset because you just went out in the world during a pandemic with your mask on to buy this book. And all of a sudden you don't know what's happening. You look through the rest of the book trying to find these pages, but you realize that more pages are ripped out and sentences are crossed off and other pages are missing. And I want you to ask yourself, like, why am I upset that all of these things are missing? And it's because there's pieces of that story that you wanted to know that you no longer do. And maybe those weren't even the best pages. Maybe they were ripped out because they were the worst pages in the story. But I want you to ask yourself then, are there chapters or pages or sentences of your life story that you wish you could rip out, that you wish didn't happen, that to you are the worst pages, sentences, chapters of your story? And so just like you'd be upset about that book you bought not having pages, you should be upset if you think that you shouldn't share those pages with other people. And so I challenge you and I urge you to know that your rock bottom moments, the sentences and chapters that you didn't think were in your story that ended up being there, I challenge you to give people all of you or none of you. To know that people are worthy of all of you or none of you. And that's for you to decide. But the moment we hold things back, we hold pieces of us that made us who we are today. And so as we figure out what those sentences, as those chapters are, we start to realize what this healing process looks like. And to be honest, the healing process looks a lot like grief because it's an experience, mind, body, and soul. It fills our entire being with every emotion possible, just like grief. And just like grief, it has no rules, it doesn't discriminate, it's not patient, and it's definitely not linear. And so for those of you out there who are like, when is this grieving process going to end? When am I going to heal? We don't know. And there's so much beauty in that. And there's so much purpose in that pain. But healing is detoxing every feeling, any made up narrative, moving through any and all heartbreak that you've ever been through. It's analyzing all of our grief, resentment, and jealousy our personal experiences has gifted us with. And somehow through the overthinking, the anxious thoughts, that pit in your gut, you're just trying to get out of the process forgiveness, trust, and self-confidence. And so in this moment, I want you to feel where your feet are on the floor. And I want you to physically put your feet on the floor and know that you just need to be where your feet are, to be rooted in whatever this exact moment is bringing you right now. Rooted in wherever the soles of your feet hit the dirt, hit the ground, hit the carpet, hit the wooden floor. Like, just be there. And whether you're grieving, whether you're healing, whether you're trying to do both, whether you're trying not to do either, just be there. And so ask yourself, who are you? And it's not your name, but who do you want to be? Who do you want to share with the world? And maybe this is because of some of those rock bottom moments. Ask yourself what, because you've now seen how life can go like this. And so what is the impact that you really want to make on life? And then where do you go to create the things that you wish existed? Do you go to your mind? Do you go watch a sunset? When? When did everything change? This isn't the moment that you knew your call to action, but it's the moment that you knew that things were different. Why? Like I said before, why do we do what we do, and what in our life provoked us? Why is our purpose in life? And then how? This is when we get to the juicy stuff. The how is living the dream, you guys. And there's a stigma that living the dream is easy, that it's the glitz and glam of life, that it's this end all be all at the end of our life. But you guys, living the dream, it's sacrifice, it's the grind, humility, small victories, and happiness. And over all of that, it's empathy and curiosity. And it's chasing those things wholeheartedly, regardless if today you're at a cloud nine or a rock bottom. And so instead of thinking outside of the box, we need to start thinking of what we can do with the box that we already have, with this life that we already have. And so logic, it gets you from point A to point B, but your imagination, that takes you anywhere you want to go into the world. And so where is it your heart wants to go right now? And so part of living the dream is knowing that you need to color outside the lines of everything that society has taught us. And it's like we need to unlearn and relearn. So to live life on your terms and create those things that you wish existed. To understand that rules are meant to be broken even just a little bit. To know the difference between society's unwritten rules and society's unbreakable laws. To know who you are as a human and to own every part of it by being unapologetically you. And so we all know what the American dream is, right? The American dream is explainable, it's calculated, it's your mental, emotional, and physical checklist of what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it. So that's the American dream. But living the dream is going against the grain of society. It's choosing only the pieces of life that you want to choose, that you want to live by, and saying no to everything else. And so let Amanda be that example. And so we need to unlearn these things, okay? So I want you to think of when you were 5 years old, in kindergarten, friends with everyone, outpouring with love, and just so wholesome, right? Okay, so kids, you guys, they are bold because they don't give a hoot what the consequences are. They are fearless because they have encountered no reason to be scared. They wear their hearts on their sleeves because they want to feel love in every way. They take life less seriously because they haven't a clue what stress is. They are honest and to the point because they have yet to have a filter. They are resilient because they bounce back like jumping beans. They are relentless because they will do anything to get what they want. They show love in such an open way because they have yet to be heartbroken. And they color outside the lines because society has yet to tell them that they have to be perfect. And so at what point did society tell you that you have to control your creativity? And so I need you to lean in to this, you guys. Lean in to being bold because you know what the consequences could be, but you're willing to follow your mind, your heart, or even your gut, whichever is strongest, and aim to take the risk. I need you to be fearless and lean into that because you know that being scared is a feeling that doesn't last a lifetime. And knowing that fear means we're interested. I'm begging you to wear your heart on your sleeve because you not only deserve to show your love, but you deserve to be loved in every way. And there's no better way than being vulnerable because you've been heartbroken and know the importance of love. I really want you to take life less seriously because your mind creates the stress that we feel. So smile instead, dance it out in the kitchen, and brush it off your shoulders, you guys. I need you to be honest because your filter doesn't mean that you have to be rude. It means that you're fighting for what you believe in. To be resilient because life will never ask permission to throw something in your path. We all know. To be relentless because consistent when adversity strikes is what gently shocks the world. And then I need you to color outside the lines because society told you what perfection is and you want to prove them wrong. And so how do we build a stable future in a world of instability when the only consistency is change? We prove that contradictions are just part of life. And so we go back to living the dream, you guys. And sacrifice is the need to either give up something or lose something in our life. We have the sacrifice that happens to us, and we have sacrifice that we choose. And so this sacrifice piece is the reminder that living the dream isn't easy. It's not supposed to be easy, and it's never going to be easy. Then we have the grind, and the grind is to thrive under all conditions, to do that thing when you don't want to do it, but you see that very dim light, hardly the light at the end of the tunnel. And then we have small victories, and it's creating big moments in our days. It's holding on to something so small that it makes you smile, it makes you feel whole, and it gives you those warm and fuzzies sometimes. We have humility, and humility is the gut checks of life. It's knowing that no one is safe from hurt, heartbreak, or reality. And then we have happiness, and it's to choose it every single day. It's to know that it's contagious. And so when you chose it and you just can't get there, it's go rub up on someone that is. It's a lifelong pursuit, and it always gets better with age. And so I need you to tell your story, because you never know who's listening, who you can help, or who's willing to join your army. There are 7.53 billion people in this world. Someone is going to care about your story. So you are here. You are alive. You have a fighting chance to do whatever it is that you want to do with your life. You are worthy of greatness. You are worthy of the world. You, just the way you are, you're enough. And so I hope that today you can realize why it is so important to own your story, to ultimately live the dream, to share that with the world, to connect with everyone, and to live your life so honestly and recklessly and lovely and beautifully. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your day. Please find me, and I would love to connect. Once again, my name is Alexa Glazer. You can find me on Instagram at @MoveAndAlexa. You can find me on my website, alexaglazer.com. But I just so appreciate you. So I need you all to dream big, live your most authentic life, and share at Inspired by Amanda AG. You guys are amazing.